Santa Claus 3, the final installment in the Santa Claus trilogy. Normally, the third in a trilogy is considered to be the most lackluster. Hell, even the Zombie Attack trilogy is guilty of that. But the Santa Claus episodes are a rare case where the third one is actually the best. I'm serious. This episode is everything you would want it to be. It ends the story on the highest possible note. It gives us all the characters we'd want to see doing all the things we'd want them to do. And it throws a whole bunch of surprises at us. But I'm getting way ahead of myself, so let's take things slowly and start from the beginning. Tom's fed up with having to save Christmas all the time. Might I remind you that he absolutely hates Christmas. And so he wanders off into the woods where he comes across Zanta, now with a sleigh of his own. How did he survive getting crushed by a chandelier at the end of Santa Claus 2? Well, if he can survive getting punched into space, then he can survive anything. That and he's already dead, so it wouldn't have killed him anyway. So Zanta tries to get Tom to team up with him and destroy Christmas together, but Tom kicks him out of his sleigh and goes on a rampage of his own. Now, in an unexpected turn of events, Zanta has to help Ed, Matt, and even good old Kris Kringle himself to put an end to Tom's madness. I love this setup. Tom's definitely had the worst luck out of everyone in the whole trilogy, aside from Zanta getting crushed by the chandelier, but you know what I mean. He got a lousy gift from Santa at the end of Santa Claus 1, and his eyes got destroyed by a laser at the end of Santa Claus 2. So now in Santa Claus 3, he's just tired of things not going his way, especially since it's always happened at Christmas time, and he decides to let his anger out in the most violent and destructive way you can imagine. And Tom goes nuts. He breaks into people's houses and tears everything apart, stomping on the tree and throwing decorations into the fireplace. We even see him blow up entire skyscrapers. Damn, he must really hate Christmas that much. And remember when I said Zanta himself was one of the weakest parts of Santa Claus 2? Well, Santa Claus 3 completely makes up for that. When people ask me why Zanta is one of my favorite characters in the show, all I have to do is show them this episode. This is the Zanta that I love watching. He's evil, but he's also kind of pathetic. He gets sleigh-jacked and ends up crashing at Ed's place, even wearing what I assume is Tord's hoodie. Makes sense, considering Tord was his favorite. I also love Santa in this episode. He's clearly getting tired of the whole Christmas in danger thing, so now he's kind of apathetic and doesn't even bother thinking of a good plan to stop Tom. But when they do come up with a plan, it involves controlling a giant boxmas bot and fighting Tom head-on in the middle of the city. And what better music to accompany this sequence than Christmas Demolition? This is one of the best songs ever used in the entire show, and it plays during one of the best scenes in the entire show. It's an Eddsworld climax up to 11, complete with Tom and Zanta beating each other up and playing dueling guitars. And the animation? Holy crap, this is some of Ed's best work yet! The characters are more expressive, the updated designs for both Santa and Zanta are spot on, the colors are wonderfully used, and I love the gradient effects used to give each setting its own atmosphere and mood. A foggy, snowy night has a white and blue gradient. A house with a family by the fireplace has an orange and yellow gradient. Zanta's presence gives the living room in Ed's house a dark peach and green gradient. It all really just gives the episode an extra visual appeal that makes it stand out from any other. Now, are there things about this episode that I don't like? No, not really. I can't even find any things to nitpick. Everything about Santa Claus 3 is just so good that there's hardly anything worth complaining about. Much like Hammer and Fail, it's just a great episode. Not only is it the best in the Santa Claus trilogy, and not only is it my favorite Eddsworld Christmas special, after watching it again, it's now one of my absolute favorite Eddsworld episodes of all time. Movie Makers is still at the top of my nice list, but Santa Claus 3 is pretty close behind.